Post.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Kids Post channel. So I'm really excited today because I have someone really special with us who's going to have a chat and give some great tips to our audience. I have Canna here from SugarMamma TV. Now, I've been a huge fan of Canna's for a while now. She's so passionate about finances and investing, and she's agreed to help us and share some tips, especially for mums running busy careers and households and kids, because Canna also has a young child, so she's super busy.
And how hard it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And how it is to keep on top of everything.
Yeah, so Canna, what are your tips?
Okay, so I've got sort of 5 tips for busy mums, whether you're working or running the household. My number 1 tip is have a budget. Now, budget is not a very exciting word to use. It's kind of a dull and boring one, but it's actually so important that you have a budget, and for 2 main reasons. One is you need to know where your household income goes. Like what are the key expenses in the household? What are the little ones? Because often it's the little ones that add up over time. But when you know where your money flows, you can then look at each expense and decide whether it really needs to be in there, whether you can reduce it or cut it out completely, and then potentially create more savings that you can do more fun things with, whether it be, helping pay for a holiday, or whether it be paying off the home loan faster or getting out of debt faster, or potentially investing in your financial future and creating a more financially harmonious future for yourself. So if you've never done a budget, don't freak out. You can go to the SugarMamma website, and if you subscribe, you'll get an email with a link to download a complimentary budget. And
I know, especially with little ones, they're always wanting things when you're in the shops and taking them out, and before you know it, you've come home and you've spent $150.
So easily done, and you sort of, Rocco knows exactly how to, he's got me worked out and wrapped around his finger, and I'll be busy and stressed, and it's just easy to go, yep, fine, no problem, have a muffin. Yes, go and get a toy car. Like all these things add up, and before you know it, you go think, wow, how have I managed to blow through a month's budget and only be like 2/3 of the way through the month?
So it happens a lot.
Yeah, and it's hard, but the budget I've designed, the complimentary one, is very easy to use, and I've actually done a video on my YouTube channel showing you how to use it. My next financial tip, and for busy mums, is try and keep your household out of debt. Try and avoid being, obviously use credit cards if that's what your family use to run the finances, but don't constantly be getting into, large amounts of credit card debt or taking out personal loans all the time. Personal debt, which is non-deductible, doesn't generate any passive income, and it doesn't grow in value, is in like an investment source, is what we call toxic debt, and it's not good for building or creating financial stability for yourself. So if you have a car loan, credit card loans, personal loans, even a home loan, make a plan to understand what your debt levels are and make a plan to get out of that debt as quickly as possible. The next tip for busy mums is talk to your partner. Sit down with your partner, or someone that can kind of maybe financially coach you, or a friend, and talk to them about your financial situation. Understand your finances. Understand, how much of a mortgage do we have, or how much are we paying rent? What level of savings do we have? And because those conversations are so important, because from them you can understand the situation. You understand how the cash flow is managed. If anything happens to your partner, you know exactly where everything is and where everything stands and what should be there.
Yeah, that's really important. Unfortunately, we've had a few situations with mums in our group that have been left in a situation where they're not in a great financial position because their husband's got sick or unfortunately passed away, and then it's really difficult on top of the difficulty that they're experiencing.
It's so common. It's not just, it's so many different age groups experience this. So understand your situation, make sure you always communicate, and from those points you should be setting together financial goals that so that you create as I said, a financially harmonious future for yourself, where you plan for the future, you build up savings, you're able to achieve great things, which might help bring you closer. And
I think what a lot of people have said to me is it often creates such a tension to have these conversations that a lot of people try and avoid it, because it's just such an unpleasant conversation to be having at the end of what's probably been a really hard day for both parents.
Yeah. Look, they say 2/3 of divorces are break down because of stress of finances. It doesn't actually though need to be an ugly or negative subject or conversation to have. You know, when you approach it with enlightenment, motivation, inspiration, it's a very different, I guess, almost vibration of subject matter. You know, you're talking about, okay, well, how can we pay off the home? How do we get rid of this credit card debt? You know, actually, you know, putting positive intentions and goals behind it, back to, brainstorming different ideas and working together as a team. You know, that it doesn't have to be an ugly subject, and it's definitely something you should not be burying your head in the sand. Okay. Fourth tip is your superannuation. Now, this gets pushed to the bottom of the pile. It's actually really easy to understand, and I've done a video that explains this as well. But all right, your superannuation is essentially it's your little savings or nest egg that's going to help determine, you know, when you can retire and on how much. So it's pretty important that you, one, know where your superannuation is. Ideally, it should all be consolidated in the one account. And then it should be invested properly. So invested according to your financial goals, your appetite towards risk, and the time you've got until you are realistically going to achieve retirement. Right. Okay? And again, these are things you can see a financial advisor about. Obviously, you can watch my channel and see lots of different videos around about this, but it is so important because superannuation in Australia is a tax haven in that it's assets inside of superannuation are taxed at a much lower rate than you would be taxed as on your marginal tax rate. So it's a very powerful way of holding your savings or your investments that are going to provide for your financial future.
I think what also gets difficult is when you are a new mum and you take time off, and then sometimes you take more time off and you don't go back to work, and then maybe you contract or consult, or then you're on a part-time role. That, to me, then it becomes really confusing because you're not on a set salary every week, and then it's like, well, do I get super? And then it becomes quite
complicated. Yeah. But at the end of the day, look, either of two options happen. Either your employer puts money into your superannuation for you, and then you don't need to worry about it, or you do it, and you get to claim, depending on your situation, a tax deduction for that contribution.
Don't ignore it.
Definitely don't ignore it, and make sure it's invested properly. So many people just hit the default investment option, or it's parked in cash, and they're missing out on years worth of capital growth and income that could potentially mean, you know, they've got, you know, a small amount of money in superannuation when they retire, or a large amount of money in superannuation when they retire. So tip number 4, understand where your superannuation is and make sure you take care of it. My fifth and final, I guess, recommendation is having goals that you back up with action. It's so good, obviously, having these conversations, communicating these goals and aspirations and desires, but put powerful actions behind that will actually help see your goals come into fruition or achieve something that you've said that you want to. And you know, these goals build momentum as you get closer and closer and see your successes and have, as Oprah likes to call them, aha moments. You know, it gets more exciting, you get more involved, and you know, it's a very powerful journey to go on. So, you know, don't just talk about it, get up and raise your bar and take action.
Yeah, look, I think that's a really important one, because I know as mums we put ourselves last in the list of things to do every day. We're last on it, and then it just gets pushed back and back and back and back, and we don't action things that are for our own benefit.
Exactly, and it's, I guess it's part of being, I guess, a selfless mum. You know, your stuff comes last, and at the end of the day, I know I am absolutely shattered as, you know, that there's so many things. I look at my list of things to do, and I've probably gone through like a third of the things that I've set the intention for, but so easily done.
Okay, well that's great. Now I wanted to ask you, because you are a mum, what was the best piece of advice you were given as a mum?
It was actually from a client of mine, and he said to me, make sure you go to bed early. Okay, and I know, so dull and boring, but
it's such a good one though,
because
isn't it?
I can be, you know, I can sit and play up on my iPad, looking at stuff online, reading blogs,
watching Netflix,
and then Netflix, and all of a sudden it's 11 o'clock at night, and I get up very early in the morning. So there goes precious hours that I could have used to get a really good quality night's sleep. And they've done various studies that show the most efficient and high quality sleep is actually in the first few hours of sleeping, apparently. So. And I know I had a son who was not a sleeper and still isn't a sleeper. You know how valuable sleep is, and yes, you do learn to operate off minimal sleep, but it's not good for you.
No, it's not, and it affects every aspect of your entire day and life when you haven't had a good night's sleep.
So
that's a good tip that you were given, actually.
Yeah.
And what would be your advice to new mums?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, if someone says, look, would you like me to, you know, come and look after your baby for you so you can go and have a nap or get, you know, manicure, pedicure, say yes. Like, take it. Don't be too proud. Don't be stubborn. You know, you've got to look after yourself as a mother. You know, your mental health is so important. You know, that act of self-love is so valuable, and it's something I've had to learn, you know, the hard way. And I now, if someone offers me help, I say thank you very much.
Yes, please. Oh, exactly. And look, I know our viewers often like to hear what other mums or women do in terms of looking fabulous whilst trying to raise kids and go to work. What is your must-have beauty product?
Mascara. I don't leave the house without mascara. My everyday makeup is very quick and simple. It's literally a loose powder as a foundation because it goes on quickly, and I can literally, I don't have to worry about blending. It's a mascara and a tiny bit of blush and then a lip gloss, and then that's it. I'm out the door.
Well, you look beautiful. Okay, so if you want to find out more about Canna and get some more of her unbelievably helpful and empowering tips, check out her website, which is on screen now, and you can watch her YouTube channel, which is also awesome viewing. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more shows. Thanks for watching.
Bye.